My toxic boss made work hell until karma served him ice cold. Hi Reddit. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. This is a story I've been holding on to for a while, but I figured it's finally time to share. If you've ever worked for a toxic boss, buckle up. This one's for you. Names have been changed, obviously. Let me take you back a few years to the worst job I've ever had, and how karma decided to hit my boss like a freight train. In 2018, I landed what I thought was a dream. Job. I was hired as a marketing coordinator for a mid-sized tech company on the West Coast. The role was promising decent pay, great benefits, and the opportunity to work with a team of creative professionals. It all sounded too good to be true. That's because it was. Enter my boss, Derek. Derek was the VP of marketing, and on paper, he was impressive. Ivy League MBA, big-name company background, polished LinkedIn profile. In real life, a walking nightmare. He had that fake charisma that could fool executives, but once the doors closed, he turned into a tyrant. Micromanagement? Check. Temper tantrums? Double check. Raging emails at 2 a.m. with subject lines like unacceptable or fix this now. Check, check, check. Derek treated the entire department like disposable minions. I once saw him make an intern cry because her font choice on a presentation wasn't on brand. We all learned quickly that the best way to survive was to stay invisible. Speak only when spoken to. Never push back, and always, always CC him on every single email. The first few weeks, I tried to stay optimistic. Maybe Derek was just under pressure. Maybe he'd mellow out. Nope. It only got worse. He'd take credit for all our wins and blame us for anything that went wrong. If a campaign failed, it was because my team didn't execute. If it succeeded, it was because I strategized the entire thing. Once, during a company-wide meeting, he presented my campaign pitch as his own. I literally watched my slides. With my branding, my taglines, my market research flash across the screen while he pretended like he created it from scratch. I was stunned. I messaged my coworker Jess, who replied, "Standard Derek behavior. Turnover in our department was through the roof. My first 8 months, 4 people quit. That's almost half the team. HR was no help either." Complaints about Derek mysteriously disappeared. It was an open secret that he played golf with the CEO every other weekend. Nobody wanted to touch him. We were all exhausted, working late nights, weekends, and even holidays just to avoid his wrath. The final straw for me came in January 2020. During the company's biggest annual campaign, we were rolling out a huge product launch, and I was leading the digital marketing strategy. I'd spent weeks building a detailed launch plan, social media rollout, email funnels, influencer partnerships, the works. 3 days before the launch, Derek called me into his office. "We're scrapping your plan," he said bluntly. "I've got a better idea." His better idea was an outdated print ad in a dying trade magazine. No metrics, no tracking, just brand visibility. I politely pushed back, citing analytics and our target audience's preferences. "Big mistake." He exploded, called me insubordinate, said I was lucky to have a job, and told me I needed an attitude adjustment.
Oh.
He threatened to write me up. My hands were shaking. I left his office humiliated, eyes burning. That night, I went home and cried. I couldn't sleep. Anxiety was through the roof. My partner, who had been incredibly supportive throughout, looked me in the eye and said, "You have to get out." She was right. But I wasn't ready to leave just yet. Not without a plan. Not without closure. And definitely not without watching karma do its thing. Over the next few months, I quietly updated my resume, applied for new jobs, and started documenting everything. Every inappropriate email, every tantrum, every lie. Turns out I wasn't. The only one, Jess, the coworker I mentioned earlier, had also been collecting receipts. She had a shared Google Drive with a folder titled "In Case of Fire." Screenshots, audio clips. Yep, she recorded some meetings. And even a few internal memos that mysteriously contradicted each other. We decided to compare notes. And what we found was gold. Derek had lied about campaign performance to upper management. He misused department funds to pay a friend's consulting firm that did nothing. He deleted negative analytics, reports before board meetings. He pressured employees into working unpaid overtime. It was a mountain of misconduct. Meanwhile, I landed a new job offer in March 2020. Better pay, fully remote, healthier culture. I accepted it, but delayed my notice for 2 weeks because Derek had no idea what was coming. My last 2 weeks were chaos. Not because I announced I was leaving, I didn't yet, but because Jess and I had been quietly preparing a 32-page document titled VP of Marketing Ethical Concerns and Misconduct Formal Report. We sent it anonymously to the company's internal audit committee, the board of directors, and HR. Within 24 hours, there was buzz. Derek was called into a strategic compliance review. He acted like we didn't know anything. When he stomped out of the meeting red-faced, we knew it had landed. That Friday, I put in my notice. Derek didn't even look at me. He had bigger problems. Jess left 2 weeks later. Then came the dominoes. HR launched a formal investigation. The CFO was looped in. Derek's golf buddy, the CEO, couldn't protect him anymore by June 2020. Derek was let go to pursue other opportunities. Code 4 fired. After Derek's departure, internal morale skyrocketed. People started talking again. Meetings became collaborative instead of fear-driven. The department began to heal. 2 years later, Jess is now the director of marketing. Helped rebuild the team from scratch. Still talk to her sometimes. She jokes that our takedown should be a movie. As for Derek, he resurfaced at a smaller company a few months later. But Reddit. Here's the kicker. I got a LinkedIn message last year from someone who recognized his name. Apparently, he pulled the same manipulative garbage there, except they were even less tolerant. He was fired within 6 months. Word gets around. Burn enough bridges, and eventually there's nowhere left to cross. What did I take from all this? A lot. Document everything. Don't just complain. Build a case. You're not crazy. If your boss makes you feel small, it's not your fault. There's power in solidarity. Wouldn't have had the courage to fight back alone, but with Jess, we were unstoppable. Karma might take time, but it never forgets. I'm thriving now. My new company values its people. I have a manager who mentors instead of mocks. I sleep better. I laugh more, and every now and then. When I hear a horror story about someone else's toxic boss, remember Derek and smile. My boss was a manipulative narcissist who created a toxic work environment. My coworker and I documented months of misconduct and submitted a formal report. He was eventually fired. Now I'm in a better job, and karma's still doing laps around him.